If you think that the first Iron Man is the best of all the saga movies, then this story is for you. Because today we will talk about the Iron Man that never was, the one that could have been done more than 20 years ago. Iron Man and the movie that never was. For years, with the exception of the Incredible Hulk series, projects based on Marvel Comics characters in film and television failed ingloriously. Captain America, Howard the Duck, Punisher, Doctor Strange, Fantastic Four. Everything changed near the turn of the 21st century with Blade, X-Men, and Spider-Man. After these public and even critical successes, many of the projects that remained in production, limbo or held for decades, finally saw the light of day. Iron Man Thor, the new version of Captain America, Spider-Man, and X-Men sequels, always with big budgets, high production resources, and box office success. But what if the cancelled Iron Man movie project, Iron Man, produced by Stuart Gordon, the director of the classic Re-Animator, had become a reality? With a low budget and without today's special effects technology, how different would it be from the blockbusters starring Robert Downey Jr.? Stay tuned because we are going to tell you Stuart Gordon, director and producer of cult horror and science fiction films, planned an Iron Man film for many years, which went through several changes. In the early 90s, Universal canceled a series of projects to reduce costs and to complicate matters. A script that pleased all parties had not yet been found. Stuart Gordon adds that the box office failure of The Rocketeer had a negative effect, because Universal executives felt very similar. Although both films have protagonists with suits that allow them to fly, Gordon thinks that Iron Man had much more to offer as a character. Tony Stark needs a suit to survive, and that makes him more vulnerable. And he concludes that in a good film, the hero must learn something or go through an important experience. If he wants to grab the audience, he has to change. When Gordon got the option on the character, Marvel Comics demanded that Stan Lee participate in the project, an idea that pleased Gordon immensely. An actor to play Stark was never chosen, but some of the names considered were Clint Eastwood or Paul Newman, a kind of more mature hero as opposed to the typical young man. So it wouldn't be a superhero origin story, but Iron Man had already retired and become an alcoholic, and suddenly he has to put the suit back on and become Iron Man again, with a plot that would be as spectacular as possible. Screenwriter Michael Miner, RoboCop, was involved in the project, but as he wanted to take a completely different direction, Gordon worked with Stan Lee and Roy Thomas, an expert in the Marvel Universe, to develop a basic script, which brought into the story Obadiah Stane, Ironmonger, and Jim Rhodes, the villain and ally of the film developed by Marvel Studios itself and released in 2008. But in addition to the villain from the comic, a new one was invented who manipulated Ironmonger. Since Dr. Doom had been sold to another production company along with the Fantastic Four, they created a similar character to be the hero's nemesis in the armor. Although it doesn't focus on that aspect, Gordon remembers that the script starts with the origin of Iron Man, and we wanted to start with the oldest suit, the one that reminds us of Robbie the Robot, and develop and change it until it becomes a suit more similar to the one in the current comic, much more compact. And of course you can't do without the repulsor ray. But between Stuart Gordon's project and the 2008 MCU Iron Man film, the project spent a long time in limbo and in many different hands. But that's another story. Let's imagine for a moment that Stuart Gordon's Iron Man had seen the light of day in the mid-90s. How would it have impacted the rest of the film industry? And above all, how would it have been received by fans of the character? Tell us what you think. Would you have liked to see an Iron Man movie in the mid-90s directed by Stuart Gordon? Do you think this version of the character would have been accepted by the public? What do you think the film would have been like visually? Leave your comments below. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to receive notifications of our next videos. Thank you very much for watching. Until next time.